Comedy.
Yeah.
Women.
Laughter.
They go together like peanut butter and brisket.
Why are you roping me into your misogyny, Kyle?
I didn't say peanut butter and brisket was bad.
No,
You're
that's
reading
good.
your own
Peanut butter to do with everything.
sexism into that, really.
No. Yeah.
So Erica Rhodes is a female comedian.
Yeah, stand-up comic.
A comedian.
I put it like a word for it. Isn't that sexist now to make that distinction?
Oh, maybe they don't do that anymore. Sorry, Erica.
I don't know. So Erica is a Southern California comic, so we started trying to get more comedians in here, and she came in just to talk about being a comedian. She's done stuff on Dry Bar Comedy, a bunch of stand-up stuff. She was on a show called Bring the Funny, where it was like a competitive stand-up comic show. Jeff Foxworthy was one of the judges. And yeah, we've been kind of Twitter friends for a while, so she came in. It was a fun talk. We talked about ghosts. Mm-hmm. I told my dog ghost story.
I think each of us had a creepy
we all talked
story.
Ghost stories, yeah. We talked about her dad was a really interesting, funny guy. He had some,
the most fantastic thing is her father did one-sentence summaries of a bunch of classic books.
Yeah.
And they're very, very funny.
Really funny.
So we got to go through that list. That was hilarious.
Yeah. So anyways, it was a really fun conversation. Very entertaining and a nice break from talking a whole bunch of politics and stuff.
Yeah.
So join us for Erica Rhodes.
Oh, here she comes.
And check out Erica Rhodes' stuff online with the caveat that, she's a stand-up comic.
Why is that a caveat? Oh, just like...
there might be some stuff that you're...
The Babylon Bee does not necessarily endorse.
We don't necessarily endorse every joke she makes.
You know what, though? I think we should change your shirts before she comes in.
Yeah, let's change our outfits and move the table around.
Okay, let's do it. Here we go.
Let's go. Yeah, but if you swear the right amount of swearing is great because we have a voiceover guy that comes over your voice and just says a random word like donkey or porpoises.
Oh, so I should try to swear?
So people actually like it when we get a few swears in there,
or even like borderline Christian swears.
Yeah, if you say
hacksaw,
because we do the full gamut. We're all like G-rated.
Like I write a lot.
We think it's funny.
Cool. Yeah. Okay, timer's starting.
Yeah.
All right.
I feel like that was good content, though. So
that was.
Decide when to break into it. And that's fine. We record an intro ahead of time where we introduce you. So
yeah, so
you've been introduced.
We don't have to sit here and read your Wikipedia page.
Oh, good. That's so boring, isn't it?
Well, we found that we would do that, and it was very awkward because we would introduce them and they were sitting here.
Yeah.
And then we would like pronounce their name wrong.
It's better to do it after we've talked.
Yeah.
And then we say, oh, this is really funny because we talked about this.
We would read things in their Wikipedia.
You basically don't want to do your homework is what you're saying.
Yeah, well, we don't do any homework.
Because it's wrong. You're using the internet to do your homework.
I did watch your entire Dry Bar
Whoa,
special.
thank
so
you.
That's more prep than I do for most guests.
Pretty good.
So.
I hope it wasn't too painful.
No, it was great.
Oh, thanks.
So was that Dry Bar? Do you perform in in front of a bunch of Mormons?
We do. They're lovely Mormons.
Do they do any kind of like do they have a sermon first or anything? Or
no, but I think they serve popcorn and candy, and so they're very wired off sugar.
do they offer caffeinated food at all, or is it purely
caffeinated food?
I mean, it's just sugar. I don't think that they're are they allowed to have caffeine?
They can't have coffee, right?
Usually not.
I could never be Mormon. That's the deal breaker.
But they like hot cocoa, and isn't there caffeine in chocolate?
They probably get like decaffeinated.
Maybe there's the right amount.
I guess you're right. Natural though. Well, no, but there's natural. Caffeine is natural.
I'm gonna Google it
from the beans.
Not that science caffeine.
Decaffeinated hot chocolate.
But they don't
have caffeine.
Sounds awful.
We had Kellen, and went and got our coffees, and he got a hot cocoa. Which is so cute to say hot cocoa.
Hot cocoa.
But he didn't say a decaffeinated hot cocoa or anything. And
Can you text him?
Yeah, later.
No, text him right now. Ask him if...
Tell him I say hi. We did New Faces together in Canada.
You did what?
Montreal.
What's that?
New Faces.
That's
it's like the big festival where
Nice.
you audition 5 times before you get in.
Yeah, that was the one in that
show
on
documentary.
Amazon
Got it.
about people getting to
Yeah.
that.
Yes.
And he and I were in the same
Big deal.
same class, new face class.
Nice.
Big deal.
And like class, like same level of comic, like heavyweight.
Well, same year that we went.
Oh,
Yeah.
gotcha. Okay. I thought it was like there was like
I was trying to just give it like, sort of
same class. Gotcha. Same
Yeah.
year.
All right.
Understood.
Yeah, same year.
I asked him, do you only drink decaf hot cocoa? Or Kellen.
The Erica Rhodes interview where we're talking about Kellen Erskine the whole time.
That's what
Off to a
I like.
good
I like
start.
coming on shows where they talk about other comics.
Yeah.
So I found you on Twitter. I can't remember who followed who first, but we're blue checks, so we're kind of elite.
Yeah, we kind of matter more.
Yeah. Okay, so you did Dry Bar. You did a bunch of stuff on
You're looking at your notes now? You
Wikipedia.
couldn't memorize this?
I have your whole career memorized. Prairie Home Companion.
There you go.
You were the voice of Garrison Keeler's conscience.
I did other
never
voices
actually
too. You never listened to the show?
Listened to the show. I couldn't remember if it was
Thank
a
you
listen
for
or
your
watch
honesty.
show. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh, you didn't even know what kind of show it was?
I'm embarrassed. I hear about it a lot.
You're in
I've never-
radio technically, kind of.
Kind of.
He doesn't understand what podcasts are, so it's okay.
I never planned to do a podcast. It just happened.
No one plans to do a
Yeah.
podcast. Nobody woke up and was like, you know what my dream is? To do a podcast.
Are you one of the only comedians that doesn't have a podcast?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm too busy doing other people's.
Oh.
It's like exhausting. I
Yeah.
don't know how people do theirs and then other people's and then theirs and then
Yeah.
I've decided to go the opposite direction by writing blogs because that's my version of a podcast.
Yeah, you do good blogs.
Thanks. I've been enjoying doing it, which is a nice feeling when you just enjoy something for the doing of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's kind of a new.
It's kind of like
kinda-
hipster. It's like it's like people that make homebrew beer or whatever. Like writing a blog now is
Yeah.
kind of
It's like
doing some old school,
yeah. That's I feel the same way. Like I like old school things.
like artisan blogging.
I'm not that great at being in this century.
Yeah. Well, we consider ourselves pre-modern in our thought, right? So we're pretty. We don't
We're
fit
pretty
very
hipster.
well
We're
either.
pretty
Yeah.
hipster there.
Pretty hipster.
Yeah.
Well, we were talking about that, so that's what we were talking about before
Can't
you
say
came
you're
on.
not something. You can't say you are something. Can't say you're not something.
So you were saying, talking about trying to be apolitical and how
Yes,
that's
I'm
hard.
trying to be non-binary politically.
Right.
I
But
don't
that's not
want to
accepted.
identify as political in any capacity,
And people don't respect.
and they
pronouns on that
can't
one?
understand that.
Huh.
People can't. Apparently, not being political is the new radical.
Right. Or it's
That's
just
taking
code,
a real
right?
stance.
It's dog whistle.
Yeah, it's something. I don't know. They find a way to think that's bad too.
Yeah.
But I just don't. I don't know. I'm not like a group person. I don't
Yeah.
like. I did comedy because I'm not a group person.
Mm-hmm.
All these comics who are like, I want to be in the group. I want to. Well, I thought we were doing this because we're lone wolves.
Yeah.
You know, we're loners. We're hiding out in our basements, not
Right.
sure who we are. And
Yeah.
suddenly now we all have to take a stance and be like, representing a political party, which is all corruption. It's like, to me, it's just the opposite of comedy. Like the old school comics weren't like, they did their own thing. They challenged both sides.
Yeah.
So I don't understand this taking one side over the other as a comic, because then you're alienating half the country or half your audience, your potential audience.
Yeah. Comics feel like it's like an anti-establishment thing. And now it's like,
And now it's the opposite. Now it's like establishment. Like I thought it was anti-establishment.
Right.
That was my impression of comedy is I don't like labels. I don't like rules. And suddenly it's like comics being like, you're not following the rules.
Yeah.
And it's like, wait, I thought we were the people who were challenging the rules.
Right.
We're supposed to
Yeah.
be questioning everything. We're supposed to be questioning both sides all the time. And as soon as you decide, oh, I'm only going to question one side, well, that doesn't seem free. That's not a free thinker. Even free thinking, I guess, has bad connotations now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an alt-right dog whistle is what it is.
You can't be.
They're all.
What was
there's a
the
lot
word?
of alt-right dog
What
whistles.
was the word I used? Oh, I was quoting an article in a tweet that was about that said something like elite. Was it elite? Elite Hollywood or something? I think it was the word elite.
The word elite.
word elite.
The racist dog whistle.
That's also.
That's a dog whistle.
You can't say elite.
I heard you use
Somebody said, and I had this whole back and forth with this guy. I was like, I'm sorry, I was quoting this article, so you can take it up with that writer because I didn't use the word elite.
It was on Daily Wire.
Yeah, that's why.
Huge dog whistle. It's like a
Stormfront.
dog foghorn.
Well, I was quoting an article from Stormfront, but
I heard you on a podcast use the term virtue signal. I was like, oh, that's a dog whistle.
yep.
I haven't heard dog whistle as much as
Yeah.
I have heard like those other
Code.
words. Yes, some other.
Coding, or what did I say?
Yeah, there's another
something
one.
like that.
Yeah, because you'll hear that like classical liberalism. They'll say that's code for alt-right.
Yeah.
Everything's code for alt-right. Yeah. The alt-right has an insane, like, Russians would be jealous of the code system that the alt-right has developed.
Do Russians have good codes?
Don't they? I assume they do.
I guess.
Because they got all these spies. You gotta have good codes if you got good spies.
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, the Russians used to have good spies, and then the Cold War ended.
Oh.
And that was kind of the end of
They don't have spies anymore. Why do
I'm
I
sure
feel
they
like
do.
they still
How
do?
they do all the collusion stuff? That's gotta
a
have
good
some
point.
codes.
I feel like those guys at GameStop look like Russian spies. Don't they?
The ones that work there,
Like
or the
people
guys
who
that
work
hang
there?
out
The
there?
guy, the main guy. There's a main guy. He's a good-looking Russian-looking guy.
GameStop.
I was like, he's a
Like the
spy.
manager of GameStop?
Yeah, the GameStop kids. You know,
Okay.
one of them, Sven or something. Look it up. Google it.
What are you talking
What are you
about?
doing? Are you still on the coffee question?
I'm Googling GameStop.
Oh yeah, did Kellen reply to me?
So like, there's a delay to the Googling.
Yeah.
He did. He replied.
Oh, he did? That was quick.
I forgot. I didn't.
Did you
I'm
say-
bad at texting.
He gets this random text. Do you drink decaf hot cocoa?
He said, "Oh, that comedian." He says, "Yes, with a splash of non-alcoholic whiskey."
But now we don't know if he's being serious.
Clever. He's funny.
He is.
Tell him I say hi.
Okay, I'm telling him you got to talk, Kyle.
And then
'cause
he'll
I'm
be like,
texting. I
who's
can't do
who's
both.
that? Erica Rhodes from your JFL class says hi. He'll be like,
From your
who?
JFL
Class.
That sounds like an obscene
Just say from
acronym.
your JFL group.
Erica
JFL
Rhodes
group.
from your JFL group.
Says hi.
Okay.
He'll get it.
See, it keeps autocorrecting me.
Um,
I can't do this.
Am I the only one without a screen in front of me?
I know, I feel
during
bad.
this. Am I
Look,
the
I'm
only
not looking at it.
professional?
Oh, I have this screen too. But I'm texting because you told me to. So
Okay,
it's
true.
different.
Good point.
I told you.
Kyle can look at you.
I told you to.
He hasn't once yet.
I'm not.
I'm typing the text that she told me to type. She is on right now. I'm telling him. I'm giving him context.
I've been waiting, but no.
There we go. All right.
We've been texting.
So yeah.
Okay.
Dog whistles and Russian codes.
Yeah, moving on.
Yeah. All right. Now let's just jump. So you have a blog, and you wrote a blog about ghosts.
Oh, yeah.
That's like
At
your.
one
Is that your
point.
top blog? I just remember you wrote that. I was like,
No, my top blog was Men and Coffee.
okay, I haven't read that one.
That was
You
my
want to talk
first
about that one or the ghost one?
The Men and well, yeah, the Men and Coffee. Well, I don't know.
I need more
I don't
context.
really care which
Okay.
one we talk about.
I'm just interested in.
We are the interviewers. We can pick.
Yeah, you can. Why don't you pick which one? Why don't you take control?
Okay, you have this story. It's a sad story.
It's a sad story.
Do you
Is
wanna
that the
tell
only
it?
one you read?
Now, I've read like 3.
You have?
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
All right, you had a really sweet one about your father. You shared a list of your dad had this list of he wrote like this list of summations of movies in like a sentence.
No, they were books.
Oh, books. That's right. Books, not movies.
He's like, I only saw the movies.
Yeah. So they're like, no, yeah. So then he wrote like a 1-sentence summary of every book that he read.
Yeah, and he read like 73 novels.
And he's a funny guy.
He's funny. Yeah,
Yeah.
because he had MS, so he, towards the end of his life couldn't do much. So the only thing he could do was read. And so he made like a list of all the classics, and he read like 73 of the best classics. And then he wrote like one funny line synopsis of each.
Do you remember any of those off the top of your head?
I gotta find it. Do you have
that's
it?
funny.
Is this on the
It
internet?
reminded
Yeah,
me
it's
of your
on the
dad. He's
internet.
just naturally
It's
really
called
funny.
Dean's List,
Okay.
and you can look on. It's under on Medium.
I found it.
He had some really. I liked the Anna Karenina one, Anna, but now I'm forgetting.
It probably helps if you've read the book to get the joke.
Yeah, some of them.
Oh, for sure.
And then I feel like one of his last jokes on me was getting me to read Billy Budd. I was like, which book would you recommend? And he said, Billy Budd. I don't know if you guys have
heard
ever
of
tried
it.
to read Melville.
I've
It's
read like
learning
half of,
how to read again.
Yeah. I read half of Moby Dick.
I love Moby Dick until it gets to the chapter that he just talks about whales.
Yeah, it gets, yeah.
Like the,
I thought
You
that was
definitely
the
need
whole
the
thing.
abridged.
no, he gets like to the middle and then he just starts writing like a dictionary, like an encyclopedia page on whales.
Oh, I've heard about
There's
that.
like 2 or 3 chapters. He just does like
It
Try
keeps jumping in and
Billy
out of
the
it.
Budd.
great sperm whale, and he goes on for like 3 pages about it.
And about the oil that they use to light the lamps and
Yeah.
everything, and how the industry of whaling.
Yeah, Melville's tricky.
Yeah.
So I feel like it was a joke to get me to read Billy Budd because it's equally taxing. It's boring. Have
Is
you
it
read
as
Billy
long?
Budd?
Yeah.
Did you finish it?
I was an English major, so like.
Oh.
Should we tag Patrick
So
in?
you'd like that list. You'd like that list.
Tag team. Come on, Patrick.
He's a good laugher.
Yeah, he's our laugher.
It's our laugh track.
Yeah, you need that.
Yeah.
We auditioned a bunch
I
of people.
feel so funny with him around.
Makes us feel good.
It actually made us feel a lot funnier when we brought him
It's
on.
great. It helps a lot. Like, listen to that.
Did I tell you my wife yesterday said she's like, I felt really funny on the podcast. We had our wives on the podcast.
Yeah, it's like he should just come to my shows a lot.
Well,
Yeah, you can make
that.
money on that.
exchange numbers. And,
Yeah.
You have to pay for there's certain like substances you have to give him to get him like this.
Oh, what did he get? What did he have before this?
It's
it's
like,
a caffeinated
Yeah,
hot
that's what
cocoa.
everyone says in comments.
It's a good laugh. That's all you need. It's one
So,
good one.
Crime and punishment.
Yeah, what's that one?
Russian decay among peasants, rags, alcohol, and axe murdering. I don't know how accurate that is. I've never read Crime
I've
and
not read
Punishment,
it.
Pretty accurate.
makes it sound good.
but Don Quixote employer-employee relationship tested by adventures.
Try to find Anna Karenina if you can. Anna
Oh, I
Karenina.
might have passed it. Let me see.
There are a couple where he hated the book, and the line is something like, "I just can't. I don't know how they
I
finished
don't even know how to read this. Be careful what you wish Iberatskia for Ilovich.
Be careful what you. And
It's like be careful what you wish for, but he just like adds Russian suffixes to the words.
But I think that's like one of the names in it. Then he did Shakespeare too. He read all the Shakespeare plays twice.
Wow.
Yeah, he's a pretty smart guy.
Hunchback of Notre Dame. Don't bring enchanted goats that can count to 15th century Paris. Pride and Prejudice. Too bad there's no glass ceilings for Elizabeth to break. I love this guy.
These are good read out loud, actually.
Yeah, this is good. Fantastic.
Kyle's dry wooden
Yeah,
voice.
yeah, you have a good reading
Thank you.
style.
The Brothers Karamazov. Drunks, death, and decay. Typical Russian novel fare.
I tried to read that one. That's a hard one.
Too many names.
Yeah,
These
everyone
are what you
has
were
like
saying.
5 names, and they're really complicated names.
Frankenstein. Monster fails to manage decomposition odor.
Really reduces it to its essence.
Yeah, exactly.
Dracula. Vampire advantage, immortality. Disadvantage, limited liquid diet.
That's great.
Oh, he's brutal on Sense and Sensibility.
Yeah, I don't think you like that one.
The reader should have the sense and sensibility to avoid reading this inferior Austen work.
Wow.
He could have been like a big book critic. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did he have a Twitter? That's very tweetable.
yeah.
No,
he would have been a great tweeter.
I know. I wish he had tweeted. He even wrote a memoir.
Wow.
Yeah, Tales from. I think what was it? What did he? A CP. He was a CPA, so something like. Oh, gosh, I forget. But one of his titles was Tales from a Crip or something. he would call him, he was not PC with himself because he could make fun of himself, calling himself a Crip and everything. Just a good for nothing Crip.
Yeah, I've thought about that. Like, when at first, just when you're young, thinking writing a memoir, what,
Yeah.
what's so important about my life? But then as you get old, I think like, your kids don't have that much interest in you when they're young and they're discovering everything. But like when you've passed on, suddenly they miss you, and to have that to go back to.
I know. I still have it. I have to read it. I was struggling with Billy Budd first, but maybe I should go to his memoir first. But he's a really funny guy. So even he used to write like essays, even as a CPA. Like he would write like these really funny essays about being a CPA and ways of like teaching accounting lessons that are in this funny way. And so I was looking at them and I was like, oh my gosh, like my dad was a comic and I just didn't really get that. He was like a comedian, but like in his own weird way.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Kind of cool.
Yeah. I'm fascinated by those people that are natural comics, even though they're in a very cerebral profession or just, and Kyle was just in construction before the Babylon Bee. He just started submitting articles.
Wow.
But he has that, like, he doesn't have the comic thing.
What do you mean the comic thing?
Or even the creative person thing. Because I've always been, I'm going to make cartoons and comics and like, I'm going to be funny. And
what does Kyle say?
And he's just, I don't know, like he came straight from that, like I'm making a paycheck. Kind of like I'm doing my work and then I'm
But
funny.
maybe he does have a creative. Maybe
he does.
Oh, okay.
It's a different, I don't know what it is, that like weird, angsty, you know how comics are. Come on,
Oh, you're saying he's too happy to be a comic?
Yeah, he's so happy and positive and easygoing.
People think I am too, but that just means
that's
they haven't.
Facade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all an act.
It's a shield to protect us.
It is a shield.
Our wounded hearts. Or something. I don't know.
See? He's got it. Our wounded hearts.
Yeah.
It's the name of my emo band album, Wounded Hearts.
You have a tattoo that says always.
Yeah. What do you think that
I want to
is?
hear
What do you think that is?
You're always going to have that tattoo.
It's an ironic statement about tattoos.
Yeah, it's basically about, that's like I had a joke about someone getting a tattoo that said, wait, what was the I used to have a tattoo joke that somebody got a tattoo. Oh, shoot, I'm forgetting what the tattoo said.
Google
but it was a joke.
Erica Rhodes tattoo joke.
No, but I think I forgot. I forgot it was in addition to another tattoo joke. But man, I hate when you can't remember your own jokes
Yeah.
in the right moment. Always, because the tattoo is something like, I hate that feeling forgetting your own joke. But anyway, so what does your always actually mean?
It's the feminine hygiene product.
No,
That was my guess.
No, not really. It's a Harry Potter thing.
I don't even know always was a feminine hygiene product.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
Always? It looks just like that.
Wait, what was the actual answer?
What? See?
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow.
See, but it's a lowercase a. Mine's
Yeah,
an uppercase
lowercase a.
A. I was showing off my tattoo, and he's like, "Oh yeah, like the feminine hygiene product."
Oh, man.
And
Wait,
I'm
so
like,
what
"Oh,
was it
now
really?
Forever." It's a Harry Potter thing.
Harry Potter.
My wife has
Which
the
is
other
worse?
half of the line or something.
Yeah, I don't
So
know.
I just
which-
tell people it's the Pats.
Your wife has the other half of the line?
Yeah.
What is the other half of the line?
Oh man, now you're putting me on the spot.
That is amazingly.
I think it's after all this time, but it's not sometimes.
That is the perfect summation of husband and wife.
Sometimes.
He has always. I have sometimes.
The wife's always like, that's like on Curb Your Enthusiasm. You never initiate. I'm always open. I'm like 7-Eleven. You're sometimes, I'm always.
Oh, I see what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Now. I get it now.
Code.
Okay.
Russians.
I got it.
We got it. We got the
I
code.
got it because that's where my mind went.
That's where the...
Ghosts. Tell us about ghosts.
Oh,
No, I want to know,
still trying to remember my tattoo joke because this is going to drive
It'll
me
come
crazy.
back as
come
you're
back.
talking about ghosts.
If you remember it, just stop talking about what you're talking about.
Tattoo.
Because I want to hear ghosts, because I want to like drum up theological. Dan will like suddenly be like, theologically, that's not correct. Ghosts
Is this
can't
about
exist.
ghosts because of God?
Well, yeah. Yeah, God.
You can't believe in ghosts and God? Is
I
that
don't
true?
know.
You can, yeah.
you
Well,
can.
you can.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I'm curious. I don't even know where the
Wasn't Jesus a ghost at some point?
Holy
No.
Ghost.
Yeah, the Holy Ghost.
Well, he's not
But
the
he's
Holy.
not
He's
the-
different than Holy Ghost, but they're one. But
He's
yeah.
different than the other ones?
They're
Yes.
Trinity.
That's correct.
You guys are just saying words. You're just like Trinity, Jesus.
Is the
Ghost.
Bible? See, I always
The Holy Ghost
expose
is
my
not like a ghost.
ignorance.
But
So someone's like, oh, I saw a ghost of an old man's head floating in a lighthouse. Does the Bible say that's not true, or does that really happen?
it does say that King Saul talked to the dead, summoned the dead and talked to them.
Okay.
Yeah.
See?
So your story, this isn't actually funny. This is sad. You had neighbors.
You're going to say it in a funny way.
Am I going to say it anyway? Totally off
I
themselves.
can feel. I knew it. This was actually a funny. What do you call it?
Anecdote?
Anecdote. Thanks. I always forget words.
I have trouble with that word too.
Right? The right word doesn't come. Okay, so anecdote. My mom read the Woody Allen book, his autobiography.
Okay.
And she's like, honey, I just realized you're just like Woody Allen. You and Woody Allen have something something in common. And I was like, that we both play music? Nope. That we both, did comedy first? Nope. You both had neighbors who committed suicide twice.
Wow, that is specific.
I mean, it is. We both. He had two neighbors commit suicide, and I also had two neighbors who committed suicide in different apartments.
So this is
technically, I had three because two were a couple.
Right. So you had because that's the crazy part is you had a couple that committed suicide like Romeo and Juliet style, right?
Yes, they committed suicide in their garage by carbon monoxide poisoning.
Wow.
And yeah,
And you saw.
I felt like I saw his ghost because they were there for 3 days before they were found.
Wow.
And at one point, I came out of my house and the guy was just standing in front of his door, just expressionless. And I went, oh, sorry, I didn't see you there. Because it just caught me off guard. And he didn't even flinch or he didn't say, oh, I'm sorry. He was just standing there.
And this is before or after they were found?
Well, that's what I can't quite remember because it had been days that they weren't found. And in my memory, I was like, I don't remember when that was, but it feels like it was after the day that they killed themselves.
Wow. But it could have been the day that he was like,
It could have been the
about getting
day
in the
that
car.
he decided, but I don't remember. It was a long time ago.
so what do you think?
Dan, your theological thoughts.
But then, somebody told me that people who do believe in ghosts think that the body tends to hang around if nobody finds the body, that the ghost will kind of let people know,
Guys. Yeah.
He's standing
something
there.
going on back there. You might want to check.
So that's what all the lights flipping on and off is?
Hold up, guys.
Did anybody smell something funny?
So if you got the weird thing where a light's going on and off in your house or something shaking around, there's probably a dead body in the wall somewhere.
That's the
Never got
obvious.
discovered.
Well, that was the other thing. When my dad died, I kept feeling like there were signs, and then my mom was totally oblivious. At one point, I said, "Mom, is the garage flashing light normal?" And she was like, "Oh, probably." Then the TV went on upstairs randomly, and I was like, "Mom, does the TV go on sometimes upstairs by itself?" And she was like, "Yeah, that happens sometimes." And I was like, "Finally," I'm like, "Mom, you're missing the signs. Dad is trying to talk to you." And at one point there were 3 bunnies. Like we had my dad's best friend also died like a couple months before my dad. And it was really hard on my dad. And then another family friend like a couple of years ago died. And we used to all do Thanksgiving together. And so it was sort of like those 3 men were always there for Thanksgiving. And on Thanksgiving, when my mom and I went on a walk, we came home and there were 3 bunnies like on our front in our front yard. And I was like, I kind of joked, like, it's Uncle Bill, Dad, and Newell. And my mom just totally ignored it. And then later I was like, Mom, remember when there were 3 bunnies? Like, I'm pretty sure like that was them. And she's like, I don't remember that. I was like, Mom, you're not looking.
Missing all the signs.
Meanwhile, she goes to church like 5 times a week. She's like looking for signs at church. And I'm like, Mom, they're right in your front yard.
Have I shared my dog ghost story on this podcast?
I don't think so.
Really?
No.
I haven't?
I think I would remember a dog ghost story.
Okay. I think okay, this is because I'm curious because I have my own. That's one thing I was curious about. Like your thoughts about what you think happens with ghosts and stuff. And then when you have this experience like that, does it cause you to rethink? Or do you just kind of go, well, I just don't know?
I've always believed in ghosts.
So you believe in ghosts?
Yeah, I've always felt like I've always been very sensitive to like other things.
Okay. Okay, so here's the weird experience I had. I used to, when I first moved to LA, I rented a very small house up in Kegel Canyon. I don't know if you know where that is.
Kind of.
And just rented this room from this old couple, very sweet little old couple. And they had they had little tiny dogs. And they had one little tiny dog that was the worst creature on earth. It was a Manchester Terrier, which is like a Doberman Pinscher that's about this big, but has the same attitude. Little pointy ears, and she'd give it this bling all over its chest so that it would like rattle, and it would just march around the kitchen table and stare at everybody with hate and evil in its eyes. And it only liked her, so it would just bark at me and act like it wanted to kill me all the time. And I hated this dog. I wanted it to die. One night, I have this dream. This dog's name is Chuck. Chuck comes running in, or no, I come home and Chuck comes running up to me. Sweetest dog on earth. He starts licking my face, snuggling me. I'm like, Chuck, hi, what's going on here? And it was like suddenly I had this sweet moment with Chuck. I wake up, I walk out of my room, and Karen, the woman who owns Chuck and loves Chuck, is crying. And she says, we had no idea, but Chuck had this horrible disease. He had been in horrible pain. Aww. And I had to put him down. I took him in for a regular checkup. And I had just put him down. So like while he was being put down in the vet lab, he visited me.
Weird.
Isn't that weird?
And made peace with you.
And he made peace. It's like he was saying, like, listen, I just had really bad, like, you know.
He was like, I had bad karmic energy, and now I've
We're
fixed
cool, bro.
it. Yeah. And you don't need to feel guilty about how you treated me.
Yeah. Like, yeah, I get it. I would have hated me too. I was a jerk.
Oh, that's interesting. I do believe that can happen.
I think, do dogs have ghosts, Dan?
I have another crazy story about a dog, which is that we have this sort of kind of like a cousin, and he has this dog, and they live in Minnesota, and the dog never barks. And when my grandfather died, at this certain time, the dog started barking. And the next morning, he found out that at the exact time the dog was barking, my grandfather died. Well, it happened again. The dog was barking one night. And the next day, his name's Lon. He woke up and called a family member and said, did anything happen to anyone in the family? Because the dog was barking. And that was when my dad died.
Oh, wow.
So this dog had like some weird sixth sense.
The harbinger of
just knew.
Barky death.
I think dogs are kind of weirdly connected to some other thing.
It does sound like they're saying death when they bark.
Can you demonstrate?
Not all of them. Yeah, can you?
You defend that statement anyway.
Just the big ones. The little yappy ones, we don't take anything they say seriously.
That's true. You die, somebody dies, and they're like, nip, 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 nip.
Shut up.
But it's different if a dog is always barking versus if a dog never barks and then suddenly barks. That's kind of weird.
I know they have those dogs that can detect cancer, right? They got those.
Oh, yeah. They have dogs who can find bombs and all sorts of things.
Yeah.
Cancer bombs.
Both.
Those are the really specialized ones.
I don't know what's happening right now.
Yeah.
You have any ghost stories, Kyle?
My wife has one she tells, and it always freaks me out. And she always tells it to me right as I'm going to bed. She's like, remember that time?
Repeatedly tells it to you.
She just like, oh, remember that time? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, why are you telling me this? And then I can't sleep. But when she was growing up, they had bought a house from, it was like an old lady had died in it. And so one day they hear someone running up and down the stairs. Like, and then the phone rings like that. Yeah.
That's like a Looney Tune.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is good sound effect. Maybe Kyle's into sound effects.
I'm just mean to get up a full flight of stairs that fast. That's like Bugs Bunny.
Yeah, that's how I picture it.
It's hard to do that sound effect to the
picture it.
running.
I can't do it. Now I can't do it. Now I'm
Sorry.
Anyway,
thud.
yeah.
And then the phone rings and they pick it up and it's like their own number. And it's this lady and she starts like cussing them out and you're like, and like on them and it's the same number.
Wait, I missed something.
Wait, it's coming from inside. Okay.
Coming from inside.
How's
the
that
house.
connected to the stairs?
They just heard it was like at the same time they hear someone running the stairs. There's nobody there.
Oh, they just heard
They just heard someone running up and down the stairs.
Oh, weird.
And then the phone rings from the house and it's like this old lady yelling at them and cussing them out. And stuff.
Weird. Oh, and so they think it was the woman that used to live there?
Right.
Did
She
she
doesn't
die?
like that they're living there.
Yeah.
Did she fall down the stairs when she died?
Probably. I'm going to go with
She's
that.
falling down. She's probably falling down the stairs on the phone.
Repeatedly.
I hated dying this way. This sucked.
Watch your step. Ah, just over and over
Fix
again.
these stairs.
For eternity.
Yeah.
Maybe it was her dog. She had a dog that was
It could
running.
be a dog ghost
Oh,
running.
yeah,
Yeah.
the dog ghost.
I had a ghost in my hotel in Cleveland once, and they said that hotel was haunted. It feels very haunted. And in the hotel room, you know how some lights have sensors on them? So if you walk by, they turn on. Well, I was in bed, and it kept going on and off
the worst.
and on and off. It was so creepy. Like the only way is someone was walking by.
When I was growing up, I lived in my garage as a teenager. I had, Nirvana posters all over the place.
Oh, cool.
And over in the corner,
Really cool.
I'd have this light. This light would go off and on in the corner. Just hit. You couldn't see the bulb. It was just there's a light back there, and I was like, oh, I guess I had a lamp back there or something. So I finally went because it kept bothering me one night. I went to get it, and I went and it was there was a light back there, but it was not plugged in, and there was no light bulb in it. And I couldn't figure out where it was coming from. But I remember I told my friend that it was happening. And when he saw it happen, he freaked out. Because it happened when he was there. And I guess that's for me, I don't get why that's scary as much as it is weird. But he was scared. Some people just freak out, the little thing. But if a ghost, that's all a ghost is going to do. It's not that scary.
I've been obsessed with the show on Netflix called Surviving Death.
Oh, yeah. I watched
you seen
an
it?
episode, yeah.
It's really fascinating. You got to watch more than one.
Yeah.
It gets the whole. Some of it you're like, oh, I don't really believe that. But just all these scientists who are really skeptical are all like, we just don't know what happens.
Yeah. There's crazy death stories, right?
Yeah.
The one with the person that floats, they go out of the hospital and they see a shoe on the roof or something that only nobody would know is up there.
Oh, I don't remember that one. I just remember the woman who was getting some operation done, and they said she was declared dead for I don't know.
Brain dead, right?
For a couple minutes. And she said she floated above and could name all the tools they were using on her.
Right.
And
specific.
Specific things they were doing. And they were like, there's no way she would know any of that. Really strange.
She just Googled it, probably.
Yeah.
Freaking
While
out.
she was dead.
When my dad, this is interesting. So I know some people are religious here, and I don't know who. I don't know who, but so I just think it's funny that my dad, he was pretty agnostic his whole life. My mom's religious, but my dad was not, and so my mom would ask him things like, do you think the angels are going to come and take you away? And he would say, no, that's fake news. And then the day before he died, he goes, where am I? And I said, you're at home. Where do you think you should be? And he goes, heaven. And I was like, oh, now you believe?
Yeah, suddenly? Oh, that's convenient.
I was like, wow,
timing, though.
nice timing. You don't waste a second before. It's just talk about the last minute, procrastinator. I'm going to believe in heaven now.
That's like Darwin.
No.
That's not true.
Yeah.
He didn't really do that.
That's the big
Last
own.
minute.
That's the big own that all the Christians do on the atheists is Darwin
deathbed,
converted,
he
but
converted.
it's not true. So.
Oh, did he convert? Oh, really?
No, it's
They-
not true. That it's just
Oh,
like
okay.
they just say Snopes said it was false.
But I thought it was interesting. And then he kept doing this thing where he would look up. He kept looking up, and he couldn't really talk at the very end, but he kept saying, wow, like he was looking at something amazing. And I kept saying, like, what are you seeing? Like, it looks like you're just like hypnotized by something beautiful. And then I found out that Steve Jobs, when he died, had a similar thing. Like, apparently his last words were, wow. And my dad kept saying, like, wow. It's like,
Wow.
so you
Well, he
must
said
be seeing something,
Yeah.
up there.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but,
Maybe he saw Steve Jobs.
Yeah. Steve Jobs came and took him away.
Floating turtlenecked head.
Kyle is a comic. See? You underestimate Kyle.
You know, Kyle's one of the
'Cause
funniest
he's
guys I know.
Yeah, just because he's Kyle, don't.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what's he makes it like we are like
He makes it look
comedian
easy.
people act like, oh, this is giant long struggle to the point that you finally have that joke, and then Kyle's just like construction joke. It's funny. It's just natural.
Sometimes it's just ingrained in
Yeah.
people. My dad was like that too, just naturally funny, like said the funniest stuff, just, by accident.
That's how I write my jokes.
Yeah, he's just like a
Just by
just a guy
accident.
staggering around and bumping into things.
If Kyle would apply himself, I'm sure he could do a comedy.
Oh, yeah, maybe he gets He's also a very hard worker.
If he would just commit,
Yeah.
just commit to one thing in his life.
Yeah.
Can't do it.
Besides the always tattoo.
I'm ashamed that I never just put it together. It's so perfect that it's a tattoo that says always.
I told my wife I'm gonna do like a Harry Potter symbol near it to specify.
My next guess was Walmart because they're like always
Yeah,
low price.
always low price.
They use always and everything.
You could do a Walmart logo
Yeah.
or something, but I'll put parentheses, not the pads under it. So we're gonna move into our subscriber portion.
Yeah.
Erica's gonna tell us about her worst time bombing.
Yeah, and she's going to tell us if she has any cool stories
She's gonna reveal all the dirty secrets of all the comics in Hollywood.
and being
might-
raised Episcopalian.
Yeah.
You can't even pronounce it?
Episcopalian. That sounds like a diet. I'm on the Episcopalian diet.
Episcopalian.
Episcopalian. It's Pelian?
No,
No, that's what you just said.
Oh,
That's what you
Pelian.
said when you said it.
Did I say that?
Palian.
Yeah.
Palian.
Episcopalian. I think I waffle on the A or the E in Episcopalian, so I want to go in between.
Where are you from
Episcopalian.
originally?
Episcopalian.
Pacific Northwest, Oregon.
Oh, I was like, you can't say the where?
Oh, or
Oregon.
small town, Oregon, Coos Bay.
Oh, nice. Oregon.
Lakeside, small town. I lived on Bonneville Road,
What was the address?
565.
565 Bonneville.
I don't live there now, so
But does your mom live there?
no.
Oh,
But she does live in Lakeside. So.
What do we do during
there's
the
like
subscription
100 people live there, so.
thing?
we just told you.
It's the same.
Oh.
Yeah, we just talk more.
It's just more, but
It's non-YouTube searchable, so
Oh, this part is a special part?
yeah, it's for the subscribers.
This part
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So this is where I get
It's
it.
the
That's
extended.
why you're like, we get down
Yeah.
into the real dirt.
We got to really make them think. Oh, they're gonna say
Yeah, like
crazy
they're
stuff.
only getting the good stuff.
yes,
Yeah.
correct.
Okay, now I get it.
Yeah, you guys get it.
Here we go.
Perfect. Goodbye.
Coming up next for Babylon Bee subscribers.
I promised the people that you would tell us a bombing story, so you have to tell us a bombing story.
Yeah, I bombed this week.
Really?
Oh wow.
Good thing you're in the subscriber portion, or you would have missed the Norway story. Oh, Jeff was really nice. Jeff
Yeah, you worked with
Foxworthy.
Jeff
Yeah, I
Foxworthy.
did work with him. We're getting to the really good stuff
Yeah,
for the
suddenly it got deep
subscribers.
there.
We got really deep.
Yeah.
Enjoying this hard-hitting interview? Become a Babylon Bee subscriber to hear the rest of this conversation. Go to babylonbee.com/plans for full-length, ad-free podcasts. Kyle and Ethan would like to thank Seth Dillon for paying the bills, Adam Ford for creating their job, the other writers for tirelessly pitching headlines, the subscribers, and you, the listener. Until next time, this is Dave DeAndrea, the voice of the Babylon Bee.